Sorry, trying to do several things, contact players and all these things is throwing me a bit for the loop. But guys, we're back. It's the fight before Christmas. It's game number 3 in the Korean qualifier. And of course, this is the semifinals. According to the brackets right now, the winner goes on to fight against True, but it said patience before, so I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. Either way, the winner of this goes through to the winner's bracket finals. And that's going to be a qualification match. That's going to be the best of 3 that determines which of these players will go through to the Korean group. However, spawning here in the top left corner merry-go-round, it's going to be the blue Terran player, TCM's YoDa.
Yep, right. Ours, the red Terran. It's Jjakji.
Okay, so game number 1 may have looked a little bit lopsided. I think Jjakji game number 2 played that out. It was kind of an interestingly weird way. Like, he went from what looked like it was going to be some early siege tank pressure into just playing the best defensive game of his life while taking a third. It wasn't the most dynamic TVT you've ever seen, but it was really well played. Mm-hmm. And again, like the whole part for me that became so impressive was like he didn't do any aggression. Like that was actually pretty much a defensive game through and through. Like his small attack at the natural base really didn't accomplish much.
Yeah, usually we see that 2 tank, well any tank I guess amount, off to the left side or the right side of your opponent's base kind of fall off. You know, like they set up that attack one time. And then, like, if it doesn't work, then, you know, if it does work, it does minor amount of damage. If it doesn't work, big deal, you go back home. But YoDa tried twice to do that. You know, one was in the drop, and another, wait, one was the tank. Yeah, one was the tank, one was the drop. And both times he was like, Jjakji's right there. I don't like this. I mean, there's a third over there that could have been picked. I don't.
Agreed.
Basically, and you know, YoDa's got to recognize that too. They're just like, you know, I played a game a certain way that would have worked in a certain situation. That wasn't it. I'm gonna play this game differently anyways because it's a different map. So let's just get on with it.
Well, the SCV coming up here towards the main, we'll get a decent scout off. I mean, just seeing that factory alone is enough. You don't really have to. I mean, okay, you go a little bit further, maybe see the gas, but then you risk losing the SCV. But knowing your opponent's got the factory at the same time as you can kind of predict, oh, it was probably the same opener, probably the same amount of gas is taken so far.
I know exactly what he's doing, therefore I have the advantage.
Okay, Leela, calm down.
But really, like, you know, that SCV scout was pretty good, but, you know, you want a second one in there around, like, now to see if the second gas goes down for either player, and neither player has that, so... Oh, well, the game goes on.
I think the bigger question for me right now is, like, are we going to see mech out of one of these guys again? Bio is, you could argue, easier to play, quote-unquote. You know, a lot more doom drop potential on maps like merry-go-round really seems to complement that style. But at the same time, like, if you're a Terran player who loves playing mech TVT, you're not exactly... there's so few players I can think of off the top of my head that will adjust accordingly to maps rather than just play their own style, play their own build, and play what they're comfortable with. I mean, there's jokes to be made about 4GG, but this is a guy who, he'll play bio when necessary, not just because it's a mind game versus life or something, but because he'll recognize that one map's better for it than mech or this, that, the other. Same with MMA. I don't know I can say that about either of these guys, though. As talented as they may be, we still tend to see them play like their own way rather than say to the map.
Do have them both setting up for a drop, though. Merry-go-round, by far, the, you know, TVTs that end in 7 minutes because they're really weird kind of died off, thankfully, in some situations. But merry-go-round, if you're going to see them, that's where you're going to see them as merry-go-round. They're both going to pass each other or not pass each other on the way over with the medevacs. And then it's going to be like who chooses to defend as opposed to offend, and vice versa. It gets weird. Now, YoDa sees the drop first, which is nice. Now, YoDa's the one that's able to decide how he drops and where he goes to not be seen. But he is seen too.
Did he see it? Well, that's the question. Did he see it though, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, back at home, I mean, if it's a race against time, Josh is ahead on that. Can he take a better, more effective fight? That's going to be the big question, because there's going to be some micro at home absolutely necessary. You can't just leave your SCVs in the middle line. You have to pull them to defend. Viking is going to get picked off here pretty quickly. Those SCVs, they're grouping up. Can the Hellions get the shots they need? Marines are getting surrounded, going down here pretty quick, but so are the SCVs. Meanwhile, the unload comes down to YoDa's base. There's no Hellions here, but a Widowmine and a lot of Marines. Jjakji's going to not be able to grow his own Widowmine, sadly. The Viking doesn't land, but YoDa holds it home. Now, how much damage is Jjakji going to take?
Yeah, he's down 6 workers, and YoDa doesn't have Hellions, which is really what's the big deal. Like, the SCVs are not going to get pulled into the Widowmine. He's going to wait until he has enough coming out of the production, and he has enough money to do that, too.
He's trying to bait the SCVs here, so the splash damage go off on the Marines. Good on Burrow, though, out of YoDa. Good control out of YoDa. He's going going to try to focus it down before the shot goes off. He will get it just barely, and Jjakji is going to clean this up. But did he take too much damage? Both players down to 18 SCVs. Both players on one base.
That ended up actually evening itself out pretty perfectly.
In the most awkward of ways, too.
Yeah.
Although, you know, if Jjakji flies this Viking over and lands it, there's so many SCVs that are low from that Viking, from the Hellion fire, he'll, like, execute 5, like, right off the bat.
Yeah. YoDa's getting his own Viking again, so that wouldn't last that long. Hey, Jjakji's going for a drop. 1 Hellion, 3 Marines.
It's so scrappy, but I like it because, again, there's so much potential for kill damage still here out of YoDa. YoDa's also trying to take a command center right now, so he's not got a lot of units. He's not going to be building 4 more Hellions. Like, that's 400 minerals going to this base.
I still think he'd be okay. I mean, obviously he has to react, but with so many Hellions, yeah, he's fine. Judge just gets out of there. But he's got to he's gonna have to scout that command. No, never mind. He's not gonna be able to scout. Those 2 Vikings pop out, and they're gonna take down the medevac before they unloads. Okay, 1 Marine here, the luckiest. Yeah. But he doesn't.
Is he really the luckiest? He just had to watch all of his friends die. He has to live with that. He has survivor's guilt.
I don't know.
Maybe not for long,
that's for Boots. Yeah, he's gonna die soon. And should we go used to scout for any drops? I guess is the plan here. But Jjakji is now down by 2 command centers.
Oh no,
there's an attack.
The Hellions just gonna run right into the dead zone.
They could if he knew that was the case.
Well, if he used the Vikings to snipe off the Marines, he absolutely could. But yeah, he's just gonna fall back. This Marine. Yeah.
No, you were the survivor. Why did you have to go back?
I'll see you, friends, in Elysium. Whatever. The battle warrior goes down, death in the blaze of glory, but still, Jjakji's stuck on one base. There's such a limited amount of all-ins you can do as a Terran player in TVT that will work effectively, and I think the time has passed for pretty much every sort of tank all-in to actually deal ridiculous damage. YoDa's going to have his own tanks up at home soon enough. I guess a little bit delayed, but the amount of Hellions he has, honestly, could take on a couple of siege tanks. If Jjakji doesn't expand soon, he's really going to start falling out of this game as time ticks on.
It was almost to the point where I was wondering if he was going to expand, but yeah, 400 minerals and the CV on the down, what's the word? Low ground? The down ground.
The not high ground.
Yeah, exactly. He does, but it's
actually
so late. It's done by the time it's building by the time YoDa's 3rd command center is done.
I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not even the low ground or the high ground. It's like the middle ground, because this is the low ground.
Shut your mouth.
Sorry, dude.
Well, really, I mean, they're like up in space or something, so they're not even like on the planet. Like the low ground's like the planet, right?
We're not talking about like the crust of the surface of the Earth here. We're talking about ground. They're on ground.
So
you can't technicality this.
Yes, I can. It's all ground. What are you talking about?
Okay, the SCV coming with this is kind of a cute little addition to this push. The Vikings are enough to take on a pretty fun Viking count, but the Marines here will definitely tip some favor of Jjakji if he can take a good fight. 3 Vikings to 3 though, and again, the siege tank's not exactly in a great spot. Like, what are these going to do? If he can get them sieged up here, however, this might be a little bit better, because then he can squeeze out that choke, he can snipe off a couple supply depots, and of course cut off YoDa's reinforcements.
Oh god, YoDa's going for helipad drops. There's like nothing but Marines.
Build a turret, build a turret, build a turret, build a turret. Ah.
Does he even have an engineering bay?
Build a bunker, build a bunker, build a bunker. high ground vision. I mean, just anything up here so he doesn't have to keep using the Vikings.
Yeah! Bunker!
Yeah, it sounds silly, but this is such a good move, because now he doesn't have to work scans, he doesn't have to put the Vikings in the danger zone of his opponent's Vikings.
YoDa is just being so patient. He's like, I have 3 command centers. You could kill this one and I'd still be okay, maybe.
He has so many helmets is what actually worries me a little bit more, but it's going to drop on top of the tanks. No amount of tank damage is going to stop this many helmets. Marines are doing what they can, but they're getting fried alive by that blue flame. And Jjakji's attack, well, he gets the... No! 40 out of 40 in the bunker!
Okay, well that's basically it for Jjakji right there. Just gonna try and defend with a couple of tanks, I suppose. But with medevacs, YoDa's more mobile than the bio player right now.
Exactly. That's your biggest advantage is playing bio. You've got mobility on your side. Jjakji doesn't have this. He doesn't have combat shields. He doesn't have stim. Like, this was just naked Marines into tanks. This is sadly, I'd say pretty much over. I can't see a situation where Jjakji actually viably gets up a third, where Jjakji gets his tech. I mean, you're 14 minutes of the game. You actually can't start stim. It won't finish.
Well, at least got that +1 weapons on the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's Marine tank is something that is not unfamiliar to this matchup, and I've definitely seen Jjakji win TVTs with Marine tank, but he's doing this without combi shields and without stim against a bio player, or sorry, a mech player who has blue flame. There's just not a chance in the world that these Marines are effective in any way.
Yeah. There's not a big enough army to split in any effective way, too. I mean, YoDa still building medevacs. He's gonna, like, mass doom drop of Hellbats.
Yeah.
It's almost comical right now.
Yeah, by fire be purged.
Oh, you're gonna die, tank. Oh, he's gonna let you live.
It's like the Marine from earlier.
Oh, the Marines look so juicy. YoDa couldn't help himself.
Actually, YoDa being quite indecisive here at the start of this fight. A bit awkward, but yeah, the sad reality is these Marines just don't have any punch. He starts his stim pack now, but I mean, without stim, these Marines are so ineffective.
Yeah, tries to split his, the best that he can, but with no Marauders.
Alright, GG's gonna be called. YoDa will take the series 2-1, go on to the finals, but if you're a Jjakji fan, fear not. He still plays in this tournament. He goes to the losers match.